Live from the Tucson Arena, this is University of Arizona Hockey. It's time to drop the puck with Timothy Gasson, the voice of the Wildcats. So let's head to the action with Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Welcome back to the University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson. I'll be bringing you tonight's game along with my regular broadcast partner, Jackson Peters. But right now I want to introduce our broadcast guest tonight. He's broadcast at every level of hockey, including the National Hockey League, where he was the voice of the Nashville Predators. This is Tom Callahan. And Tom, these college hockey players have to be excited about playing former NHL players because this is an exhibition game between Arizona and the NHL alumni team.
Well, you know, Tim, on several levels. I mean, for some of these kids, these might be names they've only ever read about, heard about, seen on a hockey card. And some of these guys are legitimate legends. There are guys out there over 1,000 NHL games played. There's a Stanley Cup champion, Calder Cup champion. So this is big if you're a hockey fan, let alone someone who's grown up playing the game.
Now, Tom Callahan is one of the finest hockey broadcasters working today. I know that firsthand because I was fortunate enough to be Tom's color man for the last 2 seasons of AHL game broadcasts. So for tonight, Tom will do the play-by-play. I'll get back into my color seat. And tell me, Tom, what is the style of play that we can expect here between the college Wildcats and the former major leaguers?
Well, you know, Tim, it's interesting. I played in an NHL alumni game as a goaltender, and I did several years ago with the Nashville Predators. We played the St. Louis Blues.
Now, we should make a point. Tom is not a former NHL goaltender.
Right.
Which is on point here because in a lot of these alumni games, you'll have players who didn't necessarily play in the NHL. They've just been around the game. So you were with the Nashville Predators, so you played in one of these games, and I've effectively interrupted your story, so continue.
Well, that's okay. They needed a goalie. I was the goalie. And let me tell you, I found out firsthand what people say when they mean Alberta Farm Boy Strong. John Wensick backed right into me and knocked me over in the goal crease. And Wensick at the time had to be in his early 60s, but these guys, a lot of them can still play. They've still got the skills, and it's going to be fun. They're going to enjoy it, at least the NHLers will. I think the college kids are going to take it pretty seriously, a chance to play against some of their heroes. But you know what? It should be a lot of fun, but don't discount the skills of these NHL guys. I mean, everybody who makes it to that level, or even the American Hockey League, is pretty darn good at playing this game.
Well, I was talking to Arizona coach Chad Berman before the game, and he was saying that his team is taking this game seriously. Now, not seriously in the way that there's going to be hitting and that kind of competition, but they want to show their skill against these NHL players, and it'll be exciting to see if they can score some goals on Nathan Schofield, who's the goaltender. He didn't play in the NHL, but he's a former Arizona State University goaltender, so that adds a little bit of something for the Arizona fans playing an ex-ASU goaltender who will be playing for the NHL alumni team. Of course, he's the son of NHL great Jim Schoenfeld. And why he's in this game is Schoenfeld was an emergency goaltender for the Coyotes and also for an AHL team, which means he didn't play a minute. He was on the bench, but he dressed. Well, he's dressing again in a Phoenix Coyotes jersey, which reminds me, the NHL alumni team tonight will wear Arizona Coyotes uniforms because that's the closest NHL team. So it's got to be thrilling for the college Wildcats to be playing against major leaguers in that Arizona Coyotes uniform.
Absolutely, and some guys who wore that Coyotes uniform professionally, like Zbynek McCulloch. So, you know what, Tim? I think it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think maybe some of these old guys are going to teach kids a thing or two.
Well, as you said, there are a number of ex-Coyotes that will be in this lineup, and we'll talk about the lineup of the NHL alumni as the game gets on. We're getting ready right now for the teams to take the ice, and then we'll have the announcement of the starting lineups. We'll have the national anthem, and then we'll drop the puck, and that should happen any time now as I see the alumni team lined up, ready to take the ice. Don't see the Wildcats are ready too. They're waiting to come and take the ice. So let's send it down to ice level for the starting lineups, then the national anthem. Then we'll drop the puck between the University of Arizona Wildcats and the NHL Alumni Club. You are watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Arizona Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome onto the ice, the NHL Alumni. And ladies and gentlemen, we will announce the entire NHL alumni team. First, starting with the non-starters. Wearing number 13 tonight, 2 years of pro hockey in the AHL, played 4 years at the University of Denver, Zach LaRaza. He played 11 years of pro hockey in North America, number 27, Jay Neal. He played 7 years of pro hockey in North America, and he was drafted by the LA Kings, number 34, Mike Vukonich. He played 8 years of pro hockey and played for the Boston Bruins, number 16, Ralph Barahona. He played for 4 years in the NHL with the LA Kings and Florida Panthers. Number 10, Brad Norton. This man played 17 years in the NHL with Winnipeg, Toronto, and the Boston Bruins. Number 2, Dave Elliott. This man has 21 years of pro hockey under his belt, including stints in Europe, the Winnipeg Jets, Chicago Blackhawks, and your Arizona Coyotes. Number 21, Darren Quint. With 16 years in the NHL, including the Hawks, Ducks, Wild, and your Coyotes. Number 8, Keith Carney. And now the starting lineup for the NHL alumni. Starting at left wing, he has 16 years in the NHL with the Penguins and your Coyotes, Zbigniew Mikhailuk. Playing right wing tonight, he's a Canadian professional and he plays for the Frankfurt Lions. Number 9, Jeff Ulmer. At the center position for the NHL alumni, he has 17 years in the NHL with the Devils, Vancouver, Dallas, the Panthers, and your Coyotes. Number 17, Greg Adams. At left defense with 8 years in the NHL with the LA Kings, New York Islanders, and Winnipeg Jets. Number 6, Wayne McBean. At right defense with 16 years in the NHL with the Montreal Canadiens, the Hurricanes, Blues, Panthers, and the Islanders. Number 7, Sean Hill. And in the nets today for the NHL alumni, he has 1 NHL game under his belt as the goalie for the Coyotes, and you may know him from the Arizona State Sun Devils. Number 40, Nate Schoenfeld. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your NHL alumni. The starting lineup for your Arizona Wildcats. Starting at right wing, number 5, Vale Artizzone. At left wing, number 23, Charlie James. At the center position for your Wildcats, number 28, Joey Trepp. At left defense, number 3, Sahil Ahuja. At right defense, number 4, Cam Neufeld. And in the nets tonight for your Wildcats, number 30, Anthony Churro. The head coach of your Wildcats is Chad Berman. Your assistant coaches, Toppy Hogan and Shane Fossell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats and face the south goal for our national anthem, which is tonight sung by Becky Burnett.
Just before we start the national anthem, on behalf of the Coyotes alumni, this is our second game down here in Tucson. I want to thank Coach Chad for having us down. U of A, you got a great team, great job on the season you guys are having. We're happy to be down here to help out. On behalf of the Coyotes alumni, Greg Adams, and the rest of the alumni here, we'd like to donate $2,500 to your program, Coach. We do a lot of games here around Arizona. We're trying to create awareness of hockey. You guys are doing a great job down here in Tucson. From your team here to the AHL team, Coach, you guys are doing a wonderful job, but you can't do it without you fans. So great job, Tucson. Hockey's alive down here. Great job.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And the national
Ladies
anthem
and gentlemen,
is in the books, and we're ready to play some hockey between the University of Arizona Wildcats, currently ranked number 15 in the American Collegiate Hockey Association, and the NHL alumni team. And with the first period of action, I suppose we should explain, Tom, we're not going to play 3 periods of play. We're going to play 2 30-minute periods, a running clock of 30 minutes for each period. And with that first period of play, let's head over to the play-by-play of Tom Callahan.
Well, thank you very much, Tim, as we get ready to go here this evening at Tucson Arena. And yes, we're playing halves. It's a little more like football or basketball in that we're cutting the game in half tonight. 30-minute runtime clock. I don't know. You know, this has happened before in NHL alumni games. I don't know if we'll see this or not. But instead of penalties, Tim, they just call penalty shots. We may have that tonight, too. If there's an infraction, it's an automatic penalty shot to the team of the infraction. So, your goaltenders may get a little bit of a workout here as well this evening.
Well, and also in these exhibition games, the penalty shots can be an adventure in themselves. They can turn into a little bit of a Keystone Cops kind of routine, as these players have a lot of fun with stuff like breakaways and penalty shots. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how the referees call this. I would think, this is a difficult game for referees to actually administrate.
Yeah, you don't want to be too touchy about it. It'll be interesting to see, Tim. I'm looking to see the U of A kids and their tempo here early on for this Wildcats team. But like I say, I mean, these guys, these former NHLers, they know a thing or two about the game of hockey. So we'll see how this plays itself out. But right now, U of A possessing the puck early on in the, shall we call them the alumni zone?
Yeah, I guess they are. And, what the Wildcats were talking about, what they wanted to emphasize was their skating, their passing, how they break out of the zone. Because, as you said, this isn't going to be a physical game with the NHL alumni.
And there's a shot towards the net. That one is kicked aside by Shuro. The rebound goes back up the left side. And U of A trying to move it through center there. And Greg Adams setting up Jeff Ulmer on the right side. And Ulmer actually just joining the Arizona Coyotes staff. He's now the coordinator of skill development for the Arizona Coyotes, and he'll be wearing number 9 this evening as the Wildcats look to break out up the left side. We are 1 minute into the 30-minute runtime first half. So that's the other thing that's going to sound odd, is I may be calling some times where you question if you're hearing the right thing. Shuro will freeze the puck at the side of the net. And, that's the other thing. I wonder if these kids will be having conversations with these NHL players, these alumni players, throughout the course of the evening. And, it should be a lot of fun and an enjoyable game. But I also think the scoring may pick up after a while.
After a little while, and this running clock is going to be an interesting thing for fans to catch on to. As the
well, there's a shot in front and an early goal. Anthony Cusinelli breaks the ice. Tim, it only took 1 minute and 45 seconds to get on the board, and U of A's got a 1-0 lead over the NHL Alumni.
Well, Anthony Cusinelli, of course, the ACHA Rookie of the Year last year and captain of the Wildcats this year. One of the most important players, although that goal might actually go to Bailey Marshall, the leading scorer of Arizona. We'll wait for the call. But Marshall and Cusinelli are the 2 snipers on this Arizona squad. The 2 leading scorers on the team.
And, Tim, in a way, it's a nice break as the alumni move in, and a chance in front, a shot, and, oh, boy, that one off the left pad out the other side. Shuro got just enough. Puck not out of the zone, though, kept in left side. La Raza, former Roadrunner, playing here in this building, also San Diego Gull.
Give it to number 15, Anthony Cusinelli. The assist goes to number 11, Bailey Marshall. That's Cusinelli from Marshall. Time of your Wildcats goal, 1 minute, 50 seconds in the first period.
So, Tom, we were both right. Cusinelli from Marshall, the 2 top scorers for this Arizona squad.
Tim, what's been fun for me so far, and we're only 3 minutes into this first half, and again, we're playing 2 runtime halves, is that you can tell the difference from the players, the younger alumni players who played where obstruction was a thing that was called, versus some of the older, more wily veterans who aren't afraid to get that stick, let's say, in the crook of the elbow, under the knee, in the waist, and slow these kids down quite a bit. It's interesting to see the contrasting styles, but some of these older players, man, they're just going to get right in there on
Well,
them.
some of the alumni, they're also letting Arizona play a little bit. Josh Larson just standing there at the top of the crease. He gets the shot in on Schoenfeld. He makes the save, and we're back under play.
Left side here, Brad Norton looking to move it out ahead for the alumni. They'll circle back here as Keith Carney ran into him. Now it's given away. And up the left side, moving in is Larson. Larson to the backhand. And Schoenfeld, the glove save. Tried to keep it moving with the runtime clock here, but the whistle goes. And face-off will come to the right of Schoenfeld. His dad, Jim, longtime Buffalo Sabre, longtime NHLer, played for a couple of different teams, coached a few different teams as well. And I was catching up with him before the game, Tim, having a little chat with him, and he was saying that his dad's still involved in coaching in New York and plans to retire to the Phoenix area once he's done with that. But right now, he's got a good thing going on, and so his son down here, and Nate just loving it. I asked him, how'd you end up as a goaltender when your dad was a defenseman? And as soon as he said I was the youngest, I knew why he was a goaltender. That's usually the explanation. You're the pincushion. Larson will bring it back in on the right wing side. Looking to center, and that one is tipped up over top of the net. Goes to the far side. Here's Ulmer on the right wing. He'll lead it out to center off the skates of Adams. Adams wheeling into the right wing side. Back to Ulmer. Ulmer into the slot. Adams wrist shot block. Ulmer will scoop it up on the left side. Move it ahead for the Wildcats. Coming up on 5 minutes gone in this 30-minute run time half. Backdoor pass into the backhand. What a save by Schoenfeld going to his right as he shuts it down and makes the save. Big one there on Langolier.
What I like about that, Tom, is that they just kept the game going. They didn't stop it.
Well, and I think, Tim, will kind of see a lot of that, the agreement of, okay, you had your offensive chance, now you peel out of the zone, and it's almost like, pick up basketball in a way.
Yeah, keep the puck moving. This is about seeing some skill and movement.
Puck on the left side, Sean Hill looking ahead, and ahead come the Alumni. Breaking in over the line and trying to cut through the D there, but unable to do so was La Raza. Puck to the far side, and U of A on it. Now working out through center. Puck checked away back in, and now quickly fed to the far side there by Hull. He'll get it back at the near dot. Off the boards ahead on the right wing. Meyer in over the Alumni line. He'll curl on the right wing. Bank it back to the right point. Hull back down low. Chance to move it in front, but Ardizzoni couldn't get it through. Now poke free side of the net. That one is scooped out of danger as Hill will use the dasher to get it out. Tim, a very nice gesture by the NHL Alumni. They said they're starting to play some games here in Arizona, the Phoenix area, and they're trying to raise awareness for hockey in the area, and they donated some money to the U of A program as well before the game, so that's also a great gesture by these NHL alumni.
Well, $2,500 to the University of Arizona program. And you know, in these tough financial times, it is so expensive to operate a college hockey team. $2,500, that's a very nice kindness by the NHL alumni playing here tonight. This is supposed to be for fun, but these major leaguers know the realities of running a hockey program.
U of A lost it in their own zone. A shot. Hill shoveled it wide on the blocker side. And now to be fed to the slot, but that one is turned over, ends up thrown back in. I think we might be playing a little fast and loose on the offside calls as well.
That was a little offside, Tom.
Well, we have a two-referee/linesman system going here. And there's a shot, and they score from the slot. Keith Carney with a shot to the glove side. This game is tied up at 1. Just over 7 minutes into the first half.
Now, I'm going to guess, Tom, that, as you said, we're playing 2 running halves, that each Arizona goaltender is going to get a half. Anthony Shuro, the main starting goaltender for Arizona, in there right now. And both goaltenders are going to have to, I got to believe, feel a little naked at times here tonight.
Well, and I will say this, for Shuro, to see NHL quality shots right now, and some of these guys can still really bring it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a test and something that, maybe will make you better down the road.
Give it number 8, Keith Carney. The assist goes number 10, Brad Norton. And number 2, Dave Elliott. That's Carney from Norton and Elliott. Time of the Alumni goal, 7 minutes, 12 seconds in the first half.
Actually, that's Dave Ellett, former Leaf, former Winnipeg Jet. As U of A bringing it up on the left side, a shot off the skates of Wayne McBean into the corner. Worked around to the left wing side. And again, the Alumni break out through center. Adams onto the right wing side, moving it deep there. McBean getting it back. Adams lost it at the line there. It will be moved ahead by Cusinelli. He's got some room on the left wing, but he's all by himself. He'll try to take a wide with a wrist shot. Schoenfeld turns that one aside. It comes all the way back to the line. U of A will regroup.
Now, Anthony Cusinelli going up the wing has some speed, but when you just see him stand next to some of these former NHLers, you can just see the amount of muscle, the size, the difference between a college hockey player and a former major leaguer.
Well, the other thing too, Tim, former NHL defenseman, and as I mentioned, we've got some guys who played quite a few games out there, a couple of 1,000+ game NHLers. It's a whole different way of playing the game, backing in. They know how to give the kid a little room on the wing and still keep up with him.
Yeah.
U of A, and again, all this is a learning experience for this team. I think they should come out of this better for going through this.
Well, I think that's why the Arizona Wildcats were excited about this game. Athletes, if they have a good competitive spirit, want to play against better competition. They want to gauge themselves against other talented players. Now, there's a very good level of play that Arizona plays in the ACHA, the Division I of the ACHA. And actually, there's been a couple former ACHA players make it to the National Hockey League. So you can have talent in this league, and Arizona has talent. But as you said, when you're talking about some of these NHLers who have played 1,000 games, I can't even imagine how can a human body take 1,000 games of NHL hockey. You're going to learn something.
Absolutely. U of A trying to push ahead here, and that one is turned back by the Alumni out to center. We've got a 1-1 tie on our hands here. We played 10 minutes of a 30-minute runtime half. We'll be playing 2 halves. They will be runtime. And up the left side row, trying to move it out. Tied up at the line, but pushed ahead. Larson, though, coughed it up there on the pass. And now it's turned right back over. Right side, that puck is tipped in on the wall by Decker into the corner. He'll try to get in after it. X will be after it. There are 2 number 2s for the NHL Alumni, and they're out there together right now. Garnet Exelby, Atlanta Thrashers draft pick. He'll bring it in. I've actually called games that Garnet has played. On the left side, tipped away from him, and Dave Ellett also wearing his familiar number 2. Puck dumped back in, and Schoenfeld will leave it at the side of the net as it's played up the left side wall. Puck tipped on into the corner. Chasing it down, Brad Norton, who's got the goal for the NHL Alumni so far. And back up the near side it comes. U of A on the breakout. Decker feeding it ahead. Chipped into the right wing side by Westland. Into the corner after it is Larson. Larson trying to put it in front. A chance and unable to get a shot away there was Decker cutting to the net. Ends up in behind the goal. Carney after it for the Alumni up the right wing side. They'll break to center. Here's a lead ahead. Pass finds Barahona. Barahona in. Wrist shot. He scores. Barahona goes low. Blocker on Shuro. What a beauty. And the Alumni take a 2-1 lead.
Wow. Anthony Shuro's wondering about where that shot was. Talk about a low seeing eye kind of shot, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you, Tim, these guys, they can shoot and they can put the puck in a spot. I mean, these guys can hit it. As we talked about in our open, if you played in the National Hockey League, even the American Hockey League, you still played at a pretty high level of hockey.
Well, and it looked like Shuro might have been caught a little bit back in his net there, and that shot was put in the exact right spot, as you said.
U of A on the regroup right now. We'll talk a little bit more about some of these NHLers who are playing in the game, but probably one of the most familiar to Arizona hockey fans, a guy who's been a part of the Coyotes family for quite some time. We'll get the call of the goal.
Baharona. Give the assist to number 27, Jay Neal. That's Baharona from Neal. Time of the Alumni goal, 11 minutes, 18 seconds in the first half.
I love, Tom, that it's the first half.
It is the first half.
17 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Greg Adams up the left side, trying to cut in on goal, hopped over his stick. Puck ends up in behind the net. Now sent back to left. Pointers Hill with a wrist shot, tipped in front by Adams. Save made, rebound is kicked out. And back the other way, Ardizona getting it out to center. Chasing it up the left wing side is James. James on the backhand, driving to the net. Couldn't control the roller. And just a nice casual shoulder there by Darren Quint to just cut him off at the pass. Back on the right side, here's Adams. Adams is flying out there right now. Cuts in on goal, and a save made by Shuro.
Wow, nice move there by Adams in the slot.
Adams tied up in behind the net. And Tim, Greg Adams, one of 2 NHL alumni to come out of Northern Arizona University. Can you name the other?
Gordie Howe.
No, but close. One of my favorite hockey names of all time, that might almost give it away.
Okay.
Bob Beers.
Oh, Bob Beers.
Bob Beers, NAU alumni.
And hockey fans in Arizona might remember that Northern Arizona had an NCAA Division I team in the 1980s into the early 1990s, but again, finances took that team away from us. But Greg Adams, probably the most well-known collegiate hockey player in Arizona history.
And Greg Adams actually finished tied for 10th as a sophomore in NCAA scoring nationwide, despite only playing 26 games He still ended the season with 73 points. Everybody else, Tim, played at least 9 more games than he did.
Well, and if you've ever seen a college hockey game, there is college hockey still at NAU, just not at the NCAA level. If you've ever seen a game in NAU, it's a wonderful experience. It's a great hockey town. It'd be wonderful if Arizona and NAU both came into the Division I NCAA ranks.
There's a centering feed as U of A trying to go to work offensively. A wrist shot is tipped up and out of play there as that was let go by Bailey Marshall. And that one goes out. Marshall on the season for U of A. He's got 10 goals, 22 points. And Tim, you were talking a little bit about him earlier. Definitely the offensive catalyst for this Wildcats team.
Yeah, a transfer from Central Oklahoma, which is always one of the top 5 teams in the nation. He was a WCHL All-Star last year. Transferred to the University of Arizona, is in the top 15 or so in scoring in the nation this year for the Arizona Wildcats.
And Dawson Marshall, also a part of this squad as well. So always nice to be able to play with the family members. Up the right side, back come the Alumni. In over the line, there's a chance, and a stick check prevented the shot there from Vucinic. Back on the left side, U of A breaking in, chance in front, they score! Stall Youth going backhand, forehand, tucks it 5-hole, and this game's tied at 2.
Tom, I really liked the sportsmanship there of the NHL alumnus, who could have sealed off that Wildcat player and kept that play from developing. But he wanted to see what kind of skill set the Wildcat player had. And Stall Youth broke in with a really nice shot right at the goaltender's feet to tie this game up at 2. That was really nice sportsmanship because
Arizona Wildcat goal given to number 18, Ethan Stallhuth. Well, that's Stallhuth, unassisted time of your Wildcat goal, 15 minutes, 38 seconds in the first half.
Because these NHLers could shut down so much of this play if they
Sure.
really wanted to. And they want this game to go up and down and be entertaining for the fans.
Tim, I felt that I faced an undue number of high-quality scoring chances.
When you were a goaltender, yes.
In my alumni experience, yes.
Now tell me, Tom, how long did it take for the Butterflies really to leave you knowing that suddenly there were going to be NHLers taking shots at you?
You know what's funny? I really didn't have any because I knew it was for charity. I knew it was a good time. I was just looking forward to the experience. I knew a lot of the guys on both sides because I had also been in the Blues organization with their AHL team.
Now, just a minute. You weren't scared of getting hurt by a hard shot from an NHLer?
No.
That's the first thing that would have bounced into my mind.
We'll get back into this here in a minute as the alumni trying to move it out. But I had, in one form or another, throughout pretty much my entire 20s and early 30s, I'd skated with NHL players. So I'd already faced NHL shots, and I knew it was coming. Didn't make it any easier to stop. But, it was something I'd been around a lot.
Wow. I would still be nervous. Wow, that's amazing. How many goals did you give up?
I believe it was an 8-7 final, and they were trying to let the Blues tie it at the end of the game to force a shootout.
Yes.
And I won't say I stood on my head. I'll say I might have got lucky a few times, and I somehow won it in regulation.
You won 8-7 in regulation.
In regulation, we did not go to the shootout.
Wow. And there must have been 200 shots on goal, so you had a pretty high save percentage.
Yes, and there's a shot by Adams blocked away to the corner. You know who scored the very first goal against me in the NHL alumni game? None other than the Coyotes TV color commentator Tyson Nash.
Oh, really?
Yes, also a former St. Louis Blue.
Okay, if it was a Tyson Nash goal, it must have been good looking.
It
was a good looking goal.
It was a good looking
goal because Tyson Nash is such a good looking player.
I'm trying to remember if he was out there without the helmet on or not, just letting the flow go. I can't remember.
Now that would scare me. Tyson Nash coming in on me with the flow.
All you see is the hair coming.
All you see is coming is just move out of the way.
Good-looking goal.
And that shine just coming off the face. Wow.
Yes. 11 and a half minutes to go here in a 30-minute runtime first half. We're tied at 2 between the University of Arizona Wildcats and the NHL alumni.
All in fun, Tyson Nash. That was all in fun.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I had a blast playing in that game. I had so much fun with that. It was a great time. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Well, Tom, talk a little bit about what kind of talk is going on between these players on the ice to each other. What kind of fun stuff goes on the ice?
Well, and hockey's such a tight-knit game, Tim. People often talk about the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
You can get to Kevin Bacon from any 6 people in Hollywood. In hockey, it's much tighter. It's the 2 degrees of Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
You can get to Wayne in 2 people, and that's how I describe it. So everybody knows everybody, or played with somebody who knows someone, or a family member, and it's just a lot of good-natured ribbing for the most part, and a lot of teasing, and a lot of guys. Some of these U of A kids will probably give them some word of encouragement.
Yeah.
As we in on the right side, and a blocker save. Schoenfeld, puck knocked out of the air and kicked away to center, but a great wrister by Dickinson.
Yeah, nice shot by Jake Dickinson, though.
And it's just it'll be a lot of good-natured ribbing and a couple of comments here and there, and that it's all in fun. And I think U of A is playing this game the right way. I'm surprised they called an icing here, as we got about 10 minutes left to go in this first half.
I was going to say, Tom, I don't think there's going to be many whistles. There has been not even a sniff of anything that could be close to a penalty. But I got to believe in the second half that suddenly there's going to be some mysterious whistles for, as you said, for some penalty shots or some 5-on-3 action, just to get some crazy action going.
Or maybe 5-on-1.
Well, did you have any penalty shots in your exhibition game?
I don't remember. I feel like there had to be one, but I don't remember. But again, Nashville was the home team, and I was playing for Nashville. So all of the quote-unquote breaks, I feel, went to Nashville.
Now, amazingly, this is not the first time the Arizona Wildcats have played an NHL alumni team. A little more than 25 years ago, they played the Chicago Blackhawks alumni team, and there were a lot of penalty shots in that game. For all the crazy stuff where you throw the sticks on the ice and you go and you tackle the player before he gets the shot off, all kinds of stuff.
I'm sure that will happen at some point. There's Adams cutting down the slob of the wrister. Shuro the save, and he holds on as Adams let that one go.
Now that's got to be a great feeling. I got to believe, Tom, for a college goaltender to make the right read and make a nice save off of Greg Adams.
Well, and Adams is a guy who was undrafted, as we mentioned, an NAU alum, played over 1,000 games in the NHL, and scored 355 goals. So he knows how to shoot the puck. And, yeah, you feel good making a save on that guy. Getting in front of a puck, it feels good. Although Adams, he's moving out there. He's down the left wing. He'll bank it back up left, Pointers Hill into the slot. Pass just a little too hot to handle for Ulmer. He'll go back to the right side, tip it to the right point. McBean back around the wall. That comes over to the near side. U of A trying to clear. Nope, kept into the line by Adams. He's everywhere. Right side, here's McCulloch. He'll send it deep. He is wearing number 11, Zbynek McCulloch, as I mentioned, a big part of this Coyotes franchise for a long time. As moving into the right wing there, unable to get a shot off, was Kyle Wade. Bumped off into the corner. But McCulloch, 784 NHL games, most of it with Arizona, but also Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and St. Louis. Calder Cup championship in 2003 with Houston. Led the NHL in block shots, Tim, in 08-09. And speaking of playing with family members, 2010 Olympic team and the 2011 World Cup bronze got to play with his brother Milan on those teams as well. So that's a pretty cool thing to see. Up the left side, Vuconic leaving it on the left wing. And it's played in around behind the net there. La Raza. And it ends up the right side. U of A trying to break out of the zone, but nope, strong on the stick there for Quint. They got to tag it up and throw it back in. Tim, that's the other thing, too, is it's those little things, the difference for the U of A kids. They may not have gone up against a player who's as strong on a stick or as strong on a skates or as planted as they may play here. And so it's a little different experience. Now cutting to his left with a wrist shot, they score! Freiberg, nice little move in the high slot, dancing to his left, keeps it low along the ice, and U of A takes a 3-2 lead.
Boy, what fun for Wes Freiberg, because he's only played in a couple games this year, Tom. He's a freshman with the Wildcat squad. He hasn't gotten a lot of action, and, I would think just about everybody on this roster is going to get some playing time, and for him to actually have an open shot and then score a goal, that's got to be an exciting feeling.
Well, and Tim, especially for a freshman, I mean, that's something you cherish. You take that with you, and the experience. And this U of A Wildcats hockey team is only going to continue to grow and get better, and from experiences like this, I mean, this is a big part of it. U of A will regroup in its own end right now. So again, 2 30-minute runtime halves if you're just joining us. 6 minutes to go in the first.
Number 33, Wes Freiberg. The assist goes to number 18, Ethan Stallhuth. That's Freiberg from Stallhuth. Time to your Wildcat goal, 23 minutes and 5 seconds in the first half.
He shoots, he scores, Tom. A little bit less than 6 minutes to go in this first running half.
And so we'll have an intermission, and then second half, it is 30 minutes of run time, as Tim said. It's 3-2 U of A right now. We've got 5:38 and counting on this first half clock. And up the left side, here's Barahona in over the line. He's leaving it off of the wall. Carney back up to the left point. Plays it down the left side wall to McBean. McBean in behind the net. Looking to move it up top is Ulmer. Ulmer back along the wall to McBean. Not a lot of subtlety on the Alumni game. They're just putting it into some space and letting things happen. McCulloch, nice job to steal the puck behind the net. Ulmer looking to center, and McBean had his stick check there. Nice defensive play, Tim, by Trey Decker. Although the puck turned over, not out. Decker trying to steal it back.
What a great exchange there between those guys.
On the right side, kept in at the Pointers Hill, trying to work his way down. Puck around behind the U of A net. McCulloch over there after it. And Hill steps down, pinching from the right point, keeping the puck alive along that far wall. Wildcats trying to move this puck out of there, and they are struggling, Tim, right now to clear the zone.
See, a great learning experience for this young Wildcat squad.
And there's a centering feed that goes out. And down the ice, hustling up after it is Larson, but he gets ridden out of the play there. And the Alumni try to bring it back in. It is turned back over. I'll tell you what, I give Trey Decker credit. He's been in a lot of stick battles right in there trying to steal that puck away. Westland in with a pass in front, and that one is taken away. Cleared out by Quint. Now up the right side at center is Adams. Drags it in behind himself, in over the line, left side. Try to put it down the wall. U of A recovering. A breakout, back up the right side. Decker with it again. He'll just wedge one high in the air. Onto the left wing. Larson into the corner after it. Larson on the backhand. Try to cycle it behind the net, but that one is taken away by Exelby. Long stretch, all alone in behind the play. Breakaway chance, and it's shut down by Shuro as he stops Vukonich.
Wow, a nice break right at the blue line, and a better save by Anthony Shuro. Now, Wildcat fans, head on over to our Facebook page at the end of this period. Our Jackson Peters will interview one of the NHL alumni. That's live on our Facebook Live, and then Jackson Peters will join Tom Callahan for the second half of our exhibition game between the NHL alumni and the University of Arizona. So Jackson Peters live on our Facebook Live page here at the end of this first period.
Exelby forcing one through traffic. Pass over. Shuro the save there on the shot by La Raza. Puck ends up at the point and sent right back to the right side. La Raza on it. He'll put it into the corner. Exelby a centering feed. Shuro has it side of that. Poked it right up through the slot. Got away with it. As U of A leaves the zone to the right side, there's Fury coming in with a wrist shot, and that one disappears into the gear of Schoenfeld. He'll hang on, 2:45 and running here in the first half. 3-2, U of A leading the NHL alumni.
Yeah, Schoenfeld wasn't quite sure where that puck was under him, but he knew it was in him somewhere, and that's where, you know, you have to have good discipline, Tom. Don't move, don't shake that puck back behind you into the net. Just freeze yourself and keep that puck in play.
Drawn to the left of Schoenfeld will be moved ahead by the NHL alumni. At center, Norton gets it onto the left wing side. Barahona wraps it behind the net. Out the far side, looking to the point. Quick shot, save made by Shuro. Barahona ends up with it on the right side again. Into the sliders, McBean turning, wrist shot, save made, despite what I will call the presence of traffic from Jay Neal in front.
Did that get through to Shuro, Tom?
I think he got it with a blocker, Tim. Back up the other way on the left side. Here's a lead pass ahead to James in with a shot. That one ends up going wide, finds a glass on the right side of the rebound. Hole trying to move it around. Puck in behind the net, tied up. Kyle Wade trying to work it free. Stripped and moved away. Hill out to center, knocked down there by Norton. Norton up by himself. Now he's got some help, feeds it onto the right wing side, cutting in for a shot. Save made. Shuro rebound still sitting there in front. They jam away. And Anthony Shuro able to get a whistle there.
Boy, talk about not knowing exactly where the puck is, but not wanting to kick it in yourself. That one bounced around all around him, but didn't end up in the net. That's got to be a good feeling.
I feel like the Alumni are going to press to tie the score here in this last $1:10 we've got and running in this first half.
I get this feeling, Tom, that the Alumni, if they want a goal, they can get a goal. And now they want a goal. There's a minute to go.
Yes, Adams on the left side with it. He'll feed to the left point. Exelby will feed it down low. Instead, stolen away and turned to center by the Wildcats, but turned right back over. Back in step the Alumni on the right wing side. Adams banking it up to the point. Fed up top. Exelby's got some room. Walks it in. Feeds it down low. Tipped. And it just sticks between the wickets there as Shuro. Adams barely redirected that in front, Tim, but he was aiming right for the tunnel.
That's a really nice save there by Anthony Shuro. He's had to be on his game. You know, I think in these kinds of games you can be kind of lulled to sleep a little bit too. But the NHLers, I mean, they can get some sneaky shots off.
Oh, absolutely. You lose track of them for a second, they're in behind you, and it's a 4-on-0, and you have no idea how 4 guys got behind you. Back up the left side, here come the Alumni again. Adams, wrist shot, he ripped it high. Round to the right point, puck kept in, now it goes off a boot, kicked ahead. Rowe out to center, trying to skate up the left side. Adams trying to beat him to it. Rowe trying to lean into him as we come to a close in the first half. Still the Wildcats with a 3-2 lead over the NHL Alumni. 30 minutes into this 60-minute runtime contest. That was fun, Tim.
Oh, it was a lot of fun, and I get the idea this second half. Now, remember, we're not playing 3 periods. We're playing 2 running periods of 30 minutes each. We'll have a regular intermission now, and then come back and have 30 minutes of running time hockey. I get the idea the second half of this, Tom, is going to be a little bit crazier, a little bit wackier, and I think a lot more pucks are going to start going in the net.
Some more hijinks, one might say.
Some absolute hijinks, especially if we get those crazy penalty shots where all the sticks come off the bench suddenly in the path of the skater. I've seen in games like this sometimes, Tom, 2 goaltenders playing at once. Stuff like that. That is great fun. Although I don't think the NHL Alumni have a backup goaltender. I think they have just one goaltender.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, Tim. So when I was a kid, I do remember going to see some Buffalo Sabres alumni type games and some baseball old timers games and what have you. And you see the hijinks and the hilarity. I remember in one case, one of the old time Sabres pulled out a hockey stick that must have been easily 20 feet long, 25 feet long.
Right.
And it's amazing the range you have on your poke check with a stick that suddenly extends to about 20 feet. So
Yeah.
you see how I just remember, bits and pieces, but yes, things like that, props will appear. Everyone on the bench will throw their stick all at once for a penalty shot. Yeah, things will happen.
So if we could characterize the first half of this exhibition, Tom, would it be just freewheeling?
I think so. That's a good word. Man, Greg Adams was everywhere, wasn't he?
He was.
He was all over the ice.
Boy, and you just get the idea. If these guys, if they want to turn it on and really kind of focus for a minute or so and get a goal and show these kids what they can do, they can just hit that button.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. The skills of these guys, whether it's the skating, the shooting, what have you. I mean, if you make it to that level or even close to that level, as I've said, and some of these guys might have got a cup of coffee, a bunch of them have played in Europe, it's still pretty formidable out there. And I think that's part of the great learning experience for these U of A Wildcats.
Well, stick around, Wildcat fans. We have another half of this exhibition to go with one half in the books. It's Arizona 3 and the NHL Alumni Team 2. Now, stick around because we're going to have a new feature in between intermissions now. We will have a whole set of Wildcat feature video. So stick around. We'll have that, and then we'll be back for the second half of our exhibition between Arizona and the Alumni Team. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey is back home. Save up to 20% with UA Hockey's new FlexPack options, with access of up to 12 UA games this season.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Don't miss out. FlexPack tickets are available at TCC box office or call in 791-4101. That's 791-4101. Supporting a UA hockey team just got easier with our new FlexPack ticket plans. For more information, please visit ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
I'm Timothy Gasson. They call me the AZ Puck Man. I've been following hockey at the University of Arizona for more than 30 years. And this is my Wildcat Hockey Report.
Welcome to the Wildcat Hockey Report. Let's send it over to Jackson Peters.
Hi, I'm Jackson Peters, and I'm joined here by the head coach of the University of Arizona Wildcats hockey team, Coach Chad Berman. And Coach, you guys are off to an excellent start this year. How important is that for you in a season like this where you have so many new guys coming to the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always want to get off to a quick start. I think it sets you up down the road, especially when you look at our schedule. We have got, the entire month of October. We're on the road here. So we prepared for that, and part of what we talked about was it's important that we get on a hot start while we're on the road. Hopefully, we're a team that hopes to be in contention for a conference championship come the end of the season. So if we can have a winning record on the road here, have them come back to our building in the backstretch here with all the pressure on them, I think that's a good situation for us moving forward.
And like we always talk about is this big, long month of October. You've been on the road almost the entire time. How has that affected your team? Has it given the new guys a chance to, bond with some of the veterans of this team? What are you guys doing to really mesh this team together on the road?
Yeah, it's been nothing but positive. We've spent a lot of time talking about the psychology of controlling your thoughts and what we can handle, and the guys have been excellent. The new guys, the veteran guys have been great, stepping up and really engaging with the new guys. And when you're stuck on a bus for 19 hours with a group of people, it's funny what you can come up with. We found out we're not very good at spelling. They had a rookie spelling bee that we didn't even make it through the 8th grade on. So the guys are having fun. We're having fun on and off the ice. It's a really close group, and I think it's showing. Every week we're getting a little better here.
And you talk about all this fun that these guys are having. Do you think that some of the new guys, the rookies, the freshmen, the transfers, are they bringing a little bit more excitement to this team, or do you think it's mostly the veterans that are bringing a lot of this energy to the season this year?
I think it's a little bit of both. We brought in guys who have winning pedigrees and are bringing a winning attitude, and I think you're seeing that. And I also think they're shooting a little bit of life into our veterans who are seeing what they're adding. And these guys had gone through the haul of pushing this program to where we are today, and it adds a lot of enthusiasm and energy into our room when you're winning. Obviously, it makes those road trips a lot easier. So we're just excited to be playing in meaningful games. And as we told the guys, the more games you win, the more important they become. So we're just enjoying the process and trying to keep our focus nice and short.
So these regular season games, you've been winning a ton, but the next home game you guys will have will be November 3rd against the NHL Alumni team. And of course, this won't count towards the standings. You won't get any win percentage from it. But what is something your team can learn from a matchup against some NHL veterans?
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity for the fans to see NHL players in our building here, and what a great showcasing of hockey for hockey out here in the West. Our players are going to learn a ton. I know last time we did this a couple years back, it's just they're so smart. It's the littlest things they do, jumping into pockets, reading plays in advance, and how well they play off the ice. I'm sure we'll find film that even show them, and any engagement they can have with those guys is just bonus. But, it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody involved, including our players. I know they're looking forward to it as well.
I've been speaking with head coach Chad Berman. I'm Jackson Peters. That'll conclude this section of the Arizona Wildcat Hockey Report, but stay tuned as Tim Gasson will interview one of the newest additions to the Wildcat hockey team.
Welcome back to the Wildcat Hockey Report. I'm Timothy Gasson, and I'm with a high-scoring member, a new member of the Wildcat squad. This is Bailey Marshall. Now, Bailey, you're on a scoring tear. Early in the season, you're averaging more than a goal and an assist each game. Are you doing anything different this year to account for this high scoring? You've always been a scorer at the college level, but since coming to Arizona, you're really ripping it up. Are you doing anything differently?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm doing anything differently. I just think that I'm meshing really well with a lot of the guys in the team, and our power play has been really good, and that's where a lot of my points have come from. So it's just a lot of the things the other guys are doing, and it's not all me. So it's definitely, I'm doing the same thing as last year, just getting lucky, I guess, this year so far. So
well, you definitely have some help on this Wildcat squad. Of course, you're a line mate with the All-ACHA All-Star Anthony Cusinelli. Now, you haven't played a lot of games together yet, but I can see an on-ice chemistry between you and Anthony Cusinelli. How do you form that kind of chemistry when you get into training camp with a new team? You're a transfer from the University of Central Oklahoma. How do you form that kind of chemistry with a new teammate, a new squad? Because it looks like you guys have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, he's just a good player, and it's really easy to get in and start doing well with a player like that. We find each other pretty well. He's got a good shot, good release, so it's definitely helpful playing with him. And then some other line mates I played with, Stolly and Dungy, and just everyone's contributing. And definitely Cusinelli is a big part of our line, and it's definitely good playing with him. I'm having fun playing with him for sure.
Now, you've already been successful at the college level, and as I mentioned, you're a transfer from the University of Central Oklahoma, which every year has a very strong hockey program. Can you you compare and contrast perhaps the offensive styles of Central Oklahoma and Arizona so far in your Arizona Wildcat season?
I'd say that this year Arizona is definitely looking better this year for us for sure, and it definitely looks more controlled in that everyone's just playing their role and stuff like that. And UCO is pretty much the same thing. Like, you just got to have guys playing the role that they're supposed to. You got to have the top guys scoring. You got to have the third, fourth line guys getting out there banging bodies and putting up a point here and there. So it's pretty similar this year, I'd say, to what UCO has been in the past, and I think that's why we're gonna have a pretty good season ahead of us.
Now, of course, the Wildcats and Central Oklahoma play in the same conference in the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Both look like they're going to compete for the league championship, and they're going to have to play each other. Is that going to be strange to go back and play your former teammates at UCO, or does that go away once the puck drops and you're just playing another team?
Yeah, I mean, when I get there, it's definitely gonna be nice to see a lot of the guys that I was buddies with, because I still can't stay in contact with them and stuff like that. But I mean, once the puck drops, it's definitely game time. Like, I got something to prove. Like, I left a team that has a good record every year, and definitely they're gonna want to take one from me this year. And when we play them every time, so it's definitely going to be a grind playing them, but it'll be good to see some of the old friends there.
Now, you're not the only Marshall on this Wildcat squad. Your younger brother, is a freshman on this Wildcat squad. Now, we've had brothers before on the Wildcats, and usually they have an intense rivalry with each other. Each brother wants to prove they're stronger, they're faster, they're better than their brother. Do you have that kind of relationship with your brother, or are you more of a mentor to your younger brother?
Yeah, I'd say more of a mentor. I mean, this is actually our first year ever playing together, which is pretty cool. And I mean, we're on the penalty kill together, and we've been tearing it up on the penalty kill. But yeah, I definitely say he looks up to me a little bit, and I mean, I try and lead him in the right direction. But you know, he's young, and hopefully he'll get there in his next couple years here.
Now, that's Dawson Marshall, the younger brother here. He's a couple years younger. So do you see yourself in him a little bit? Like, this was the kind of player I was, or the kinds of things that I had to learn as a player when I was a couple years earlier?
I'd say that we're just kind of different kind of players. Like, obviously lately I've been scoring a lot. He's more of a grinder kind of guy, doing well on the penalty kill. So he's just, like I said, like everyone's been doing, just filling his role, and that's just all that the team can ask for him.
We've been speaking with Bailey Marshall, the high-scoring forward of the Arizona Wildcats. We look forward to seeing you light the lamp again at the Tucson Arena, and we hope to see you here on the next Wildcat Hockey Report.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Cat Claw Chronicle. We've got the captain of the University of Arizona team, and Anthony, go ahead, throw us out.
I mean, I thought tonight went well. I thought our first period wasn't that great, which was expected. We were living in the ice not too long here, but we knew they were going to come out strong, so I think we weathered the storm early and started playing well second, third period, and good teams found a way to win, so that's what we did tonight.
You know, I didn't get a chance to talk to you after the season ended and you were starting to claim all these honors, but did you have like a suitcase full of stuff you had to haul back home for the summer?
No, I mean, it's always nice being acknowledged for your hard work, but the only goal I really want is national championship in March.
Absolutely, and you got a new line mate this year. Talk a little bit about Bailey Marshall and how it's been to play with him and his talent level.
Yeah, he's a game changer. Bailey's someone I've never had the pleasure of play with someone like him. He makes my game way easier. He finds me all over the ice, and he never stops working. So he's been making my life way easier, and it's been a lot of fun to play with him so far.
You know, the early theme when I talked to Coach this summer was people were losing weight, except for one person. He didn't want somebody to lose weight. So tell me what he told you to do over the summer, and what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, the injury bug got me a little bit last year, so my off season was really focusing on gaining weight and more muscle. So I hit the gym pretty hard. I came back to camp, I think 20 pounds heavier this year. So I feel stronger on the puck, and I feel more comfortable out there this year for sure.
So guys tell me that 2 games into the season right now, and I asked Coach before the game tonight, I said, are your ears ringing from the pipes you've hit? Because I saw you hit a few up at Grand Canyon and haven't scored yet. So is Cusinelli going to score this year or what?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hitting too many pipes lately, like you said. But, I mean, as long as we keep winning, that's fine, and the goals will come eventually.
Talk a little bit about the rivalry. You played in it last year. You guys won the Cactus Cup. You got it back down here in Tucson. Now you're battling for it to keep it. Always nice to start off with a win, but what was it like on the ice tonight?
Yeah, I think it was good for the new guys to kind of get adjusted to the rivalry. I mean, those games are always fun. It's always a packed house. We don't like them, they don't like us. So, I mean, if you can't get going for that game, there's something wrong with you. So, I mean, it was a good start for us, but we still have, I think, 7 more games against them. So we'll try to lock down the Cactus Cup as soon as we can, but it's going to be hard.
You know, as a hockey fan and watching the game like I do, I see a lot of games. What I've noticed over the last couple of years is the teams have decided to play more hockey instead of more of a rough and tough style, especially in the ACHA. Is that something you're seeing too, that there's more of a finesse game now, and you still play the body, but it's none of that after the whistle junk?
Yeah, especially against these guys. I think we're trying to stay away from the nonsense after the whistle, and as long as we stick to our game and not get involved in all the extracurriculars after every whistle, we'll be fine. And I mean, yeah, I think it's more of a skill game now than it has been in the past, which is fun for me especially. As long as we keep staying out of the nonsense, we'll be fine.
What's your role as a captain? What do you have to do with these guys, or do they pretty much police themselves?
Yeah, I think this group's way different from last year. I think our locker room has a better culture feel, and I think for me personally, I'm going to play the same I did last year and try to just lead by example and make sure the rookies feel comfortable and all the freshmen are in the place. And I mean, not much is going to change, but I'm excited for the job at hand.
Tell us a little bit about what you do during the summer months. What do you do to prepare yourself for another season?
Yeah, I mean, last season was mostly gaining weight, like I said, but men's league when I can. My junior team back home in New Jersey ran some summer skates, so I mean, it's more about gaining weight for me, but I was on the ice a good amount too.
So, does coach call you and check up on you during the summer months, or does he pretty much just leave you alone?
Yeah, I think every day it's all like couldn't get away from him, but all good stuff.
He's sitting next to us, folks. That's why we're able to go ahead and razz him a little bit. But let's talk and let's wrap things up with University of Arizona hockey. When I say that, what does it mean to you?
I think we're a fast, tough team to play against. I think this program's on the rise, and it's exciting to see what we're doing so far. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we're going to be a national contender very soon.
You know, we saw the banner go up last year, and it's officially hanging from there now of Kelly Walker. And a lot of people say Kelly Walker and you have a lot of things in common. First of all, what do you know about Kelly from last year? And secondly is, how prolific or how difficult it is to be that prolific in this league?
Yeah, I think the stats speak for himself. Points he put up was ridiculous. I don't think anyone's ever going to catch that. But
right.
In regards to me, I don't really try to think about that. I'm just trying to play my game, and as long as the team keeps winning, that's all that matters to me.
Anthony Cusinelli, we appreciate the time and keep it rolling. See if you can get a goal though once or twice, okay?
Yeah, I'll try. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
And welcome back to Tucson Arena. Tom Callahan here with you for the play-by-play of the second half, joined by Jackson Peters. Gonna do a little color with me here for this one. And well, Jackson, I'll tell you what, for the first half, this was a pretty entertaining hockey game. That was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the NHL alumni out there, and I'm sure for the U of A Wildcats, that was also an entertaining and enjoyable first half of hockey. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for us to say, you know, it looks fun for us. It's fun for us to be here. But something I haven't seen out of this Wildcats hockey team a lot this year is these guys are smiling as they're skating around. They don't look as aggressive and mad, so it's good to see them. You know, they come home off a long road trip, and they get to come out here and have some fun in the Tucson Arena.
Well, they absolutely do, and something that we talked about a little bit in the first half, but not a bunch, is this NHL alumni team. He's wearing Arizona Coyotes jerseys, and so I was just kind of flipping through my notes here. Guys who have played for the Phoenix/Arizona NHL franchise. Greg Adams, Keith Carney also played for the Coyotes at one point. And kind of going through the list here and finding everybody else who was around. So Jeff Ulmer now works for the Coyotes. He's their coordinator of skill development. And so he was a guy who ended up working in kind of a last-minute addition to the roster. Of course, Zbynek McCulloch, the one who everybody here in Tucson knows, and one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the game of hockey. I mean, Z's just great. But it's really neat to see all these different players who have played in Arizona at some point putting down roots. Greg Adams is an NAU alum. And coming back here and trying to help build the game.
Yeah, and I got the chance to interview Greg Adams at the halftime, as I'm going to call it, for Facebook Live. And, you know, he was really excited to talk about how he's seen the game grow in Arizona. He said he started at NAU, he played for the Coyotes, and now he's playing for the alumni team in Tucson. So he was really excited to talk about and just look at how this game has grown here. And, you know, you look at stats that, you know, the Coyotes put out all the time. Like, the game is growing here. And to have stuff like this in Tucson on a Saturday night, it's really exciting.
It really is. And even a guy like Ralph Barahona, who you might say, well, I don't really know him. And unless you're a Bruins fan, he played 6 games for the Bruins, got that cup of coffee. But he also played in the WCHL for the then Phoenix Roadrunners and the old West Coast Hockey League back before when there was a West Coast and an East Coast Hockey League. And so some of these guys, I mean, they may have just kind of passed through in a major or minor league capacity, but they end up back down here, and it's great to see the game growing. It's certainly grown a lot in the last 20 years in the Phoenix area, and now hopefully Tucson experiences a similar boom.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you talk to guys like Adams and Carney. You know, there's no way you could expect them to think, you know, 15, 20 years ago when they started playing in Arizona, that on a Saturday night in 2018 we're playing hockey in Tucson, Arizona, in a college town. So it's really exciting, you know, especially for me as a young college student, to see this game grow as I grow.
And the other thing, too, is that I got a chance to talk with Chad Berman, the head coach of this U of A Wildcats team. And one of the things that we just kind of bantered back and forth on was what this could mean for the Wildcats, and to just raise that awareness. And, of course, the donation, $2,500 by the NHL alumni to the U of A program. I mean, it's great to see, but for these kids, for this program, things like this also help put you on the map.
Yeah, growing up a hockey player, you know, you want to play in the NHL. You know, you idolize some of these guys growing up. So being able to share the ice with them and, you know, hopefully learn some things, that's really helpful not only as an individual player, but for a team for the whole season.
Okay, so 2 things to note. Number 1, we did not change ends for the second half. And it is a half. It's 30 minutes of run time here. Oh, there's our first penalty call. And it's going to be a tripping call against Sean Hill. So now my question is, and I think they're just going to award penalty shots. We weren't advised of this before the game, or if the players are just going to sit the penalty on their respective bench, but I think they should just give them penalty shots.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Tom. I mean, this is a game about fun, and I hope we see a lot of fun things happen as you look back at some of these games that this NHL alumni team has played. A lot of fun stuff can happen.
And here's Anthony Cusinelli. He will bring it in. Whoop, look out. Gloves, sticks. He stick handles around to the backhand. Schoenfeld, the right pad save, and he keeps the puck out. I'll tell you, Wayne McBean was about ready to fire all of his gear. I thought we'd see a couple elbow pads and maybe a helmet go flying there, but Cusinelli stick handled around it, still got a shot off.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the shot he was able to get off there. I had no idea McBean was going to start throwing his equipment on the ice.
And he just quietly snuck over to that near side. I don't think anybody really picked him up on the penalty shot. And now the alumni back down the other way, and a chance in front. That one is cleared away. Shuro is still in there in this hockey game to start the second half. Puck at the left point. McBean will put that one around the wall. And there's McCulloch. Try to center one off a skate. Goes right back to the near side corner. And the alumni trying to go to work once again in the Wildcats' end. Up to the left point. McBean keeping it in, sending it across, and a chance in for the right point. Save made, and that one is scooped up off the ice. No rebound there. And, you know, it's fun to watch the alumni work the puck around. You can tell these guys pretty savvy, a lot of experience.
Yeah, and one of the things that's been really exciting for me to watch as this game's gone on is how these NHL alumni players, they just turn on the jets. You know, they're kind of just standing up straight. The puck comes to them, and there they go. They just start flying past these guys.
One of the things that separates players at any level is skating ability. And you can see it, especially with the guys, the NHLers. Exelby trying to tuck it in front. Oh, he almost scooped it in. Now they jam the rebound. And a whistle that benefits Shuro there with a pad stacked across the goal line. You know, Jackson, as you mentioned, I mean, yeah, it's also a learning point for the Wildcats to see, oh boy, this is what it takes, or this is what it's like to play at that level, and kind of gives you a little bit of a feel for what the gap is.
Yeah, and these guys are always looking up to move up levels, you know, maybe not to the NHL, but there's always room for improvement, so it's good to have them out on the same ice as these guys.
And, hey, I would never tell any kid not to try to make the NHL, but this gives you an idea of exactly what you've got to do to make it happen.
Yeah, and these are some guys who are around the game for, you know, over 1,000 games. These are guys that really understand what it takes to make the major leagues.
So right now the Alumni on the regroup. Tapped up the left wing side. Fukonich cutting into the slot. Left it off. A little too hard on the pass there. But now it's turned right back over. Quick shot is ripped over top of the net by La Raza. And now the Wildcats back the other way. Decker onto the right wing side. Trying to move it ahead. Tied up at the line. Knocked in. And chased down by Westland. Backhanded away to the far side by Exelby. And now it'll be moved up on the right wing. And up come the Alumni. Chasing it on the right wing side. And well, La Raza tried to walk the D, couldn't do it, turned back the other way, and now Larson moving it ahead for U of A. Into the right wing, cuts around one, still with it, chipped it towards the front of the net, and Schoenfeld will just grab it and tried to toss it aside. But that was a nice little move by Larson.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by how a lot of these U of A players are really trying to use some skill moves around these NHL guys. You know, as someone that's just watching, these are college kids against NHL alumni. It takes a lot of guts to pull some of those moves that they're pulling on some of those guys.
And you know what? It's also, if they give them just that little bit of space, it's like they're trying to tell the kids, hey, work on this. Try it. See if you can pull this off. And certainly against some of these players who, I mean, there's a couple of Calder Cups, Memorial Cups, Stanley Cup out there as well. You know, guys who have been around the league for a long time. And back comes U of A, 3-on-1. Oh, boy, nice defensive play right there. Keith Carney was the only man back, and he took the pass away. U of A continues to press, though, cutting in. Forehand and a shot. Now that one is stopped by Schoenfeld down low. Dickinson cutting in front. Right back come the Alumni on the left wing side. Pushing up now, Barahona, and he lost that one. It'll be picked back by Rowe. And Rowe will bank it around. The Wildcats setting it back up here. So in case you're wondering, no, it's not Greg Adams who has the Stanley Cup. He did make it to the Cup final with the 1994 Vancouver Canucks, but as we all know, that was the famous New York Rangers victory in '94. A chance on the near side. McCulloch with a shot fought off by Shuro. Rebound to the near side. And Adams had a huge role in that team. Game 5 of the Western Conference Final against Toronto, scored the overtime game winner, and then in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, the overtime game winner. So he had a knack for the big goals, but didn't actually come away with a Stanley Cup. But no, it's Sean Hill. Won the Cup in 1993 with the Montreal Canadiens.
And to have some, Stanley Cup champions out here, that makes all of this experience even better. It's one thing to be an alumni of the NHL, but to have a Stanley Cup ring, to have that experience is, something I'm sure a lot of these guys wouldn't even be able to describe.
Now, another guy who has a Cup ring, although not as a player, is Keith Carney. He was a scout with Chicago in 2010. Got a ring then with the Blackhawks. But again, as a scout, part of the player development. Again, a guy who knows what it takes. Wraparound chance off the goalpost. Goal light went on. I don't think that one went in. The play continues. Kyle Wade, are they calling it a goal? I think they're going to give it a goal. Boy, I thought that was posted out. Do we have video review, Jackson? Are we going to the replay?
I don't think we're going to get replay here tonight, Tom, but I think you're right. I think it looked like it went posting off.
I think you got to wave that one off. Then they are going to. The faceoff will come to the right of Schoenfeld. Nice effort, though, on the wraparound in front there, but Kyle Wade just that close. And the Alumni winning one of the rare faceoffs here. And again, it's the second half, so 2 halves. This is half number 2, 30 minutes, runtime clock. It's 3-2, Arizona leading the NHL Alumni. And the Wildcats will bring it back. Cutting up the right wing side, moving his way in. James tried to get a shot away. Puck ends up in the high slot. A backhand. That is blocked in front as well. Wade couldn't get it through. Now the Alumni back up the left wing side. Vukonich cutting into the high slot. Nice job of the back check there. Jones took it away from La Raza. And out to center. Here come the Wildcats. Left wing side. Hole weaving onto the right side. Still with it. Sends it in front through the crease. And out it goes all the way up to the left point. And it's kept in there. Cusinelli to the dot, send it across and out the other side as well. Vukonich up with the puck. He'll just leave it off to the D. Everybody will change it up here. And Dave Ellett in behind the net. Looking for the stretch pass, tipped out to center. And up come the Alumni on the left wing side, trying to cut in, but kind of lost the bouncing puck there. It was Quinton, now turned back the other way and quickly. U of A racing up the right wing. Stallmuth cutting in on goal. Oh, he lost it, trying to go through to the backhand.
And that's another one of those really skill moves these guys are trying to use on the defenseman, and they're getting really good chances off those.
Well, and you know what? It's a little bit of pond hockey to that extent, and it's a little bit of fun. Show off your moves and see if you can score the pretty goal in a game like this. You know you're not going to get hit at the very least. Alumni back in for the chance here, but that one is swept away out to center. And Hill trying to play it ahead. That one knocked out of the air by Bailey Marshall. Puck of the line collision there. Hill got run into by Marshall. Everybody looks okay. Centering feed. Marshall a shot, save, rebound. Schottfeld will hang on to that one. And he will freeze it for the whistle. But Bailey Marshall, a couple of great chances in front of the net.
Yeah, and Marshall's been one of those guys all season, and to no surprise, he's doing the same thing in this NHL Alumni game. On the season, he's got, he's got 12 assists and 10 goals, 22 points. He's been one of those guys that's just done a lot for this team, and he was a transfer, but it really wasn't expected for him to produce this much.
It's always nice when you get those little surprises, guys coming in and contributing. Here's Ulmer on the left side. That one is knocked away. Now U of A, stretch pass back up the left wing side. Westland carrying it in, top of the far dot. He'll send it across to the backhand, a chance. Schottfeld shutting it down as Decker tried to let it go. Now it ends up at the right point. Puck bouncing and it's chipped away, and now 2-on-1 developing. Up on the left wing side, here's McCulloch, works it in, flips it back across, and a bouncing puck that hops over the stick of Ulmer. Ulmer on the right side. Right wing corner, gets it back into the slot. Here's Ulmer through traffic, he scores! Jeff Ulmer with a low wrist shot. Finds room through the wickets on Shuro. And this game is tied at 3, 9 minutes into the second half.
And even though this is a game about fun right now, they sure know how to make it exciting. And something I loved about that play there is you kind of underestimate how quick some of these NHL Alumni players can get the puck off. You know, it's something they learned in the major leagues. They get the puck and they can just rip it as quick as they can.
Well, and not only the quickness of the shot, Jackson, but also the placement. You know, they're able to get it away, get it on net, and hit what they're aiming at. Chance in, Schottfeld will make the save and a hold on. We'll pick up the call of the goal here in just a moment. Face-off will be again to the left of the NHL Alumni goal. And it's kind of fun to see McCulloch, career defenseman. Now let's pick up the call here.
Jeff Ulmer. The assist goes to number 17, Greg Adams, and number 11, Zbigniew Mikhalik. That is Ulmer from Adams and Mikhalik. Time of the Alumni goal, 9 minutes, 10 seconds in the second half.
I should just call him Z. It's a lot easier. But speaking of which, so to see Zbigniew Mikhalik playing forward, guy who led the NHL in blocked shots in 08-09, and he's playing upright. He's centering, actually. It's kind of it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's fun for these guys too.
Yeah, I mean, for them to be able to switch around, you know, you look at Z, he's got 42 goals in 800 NHL games. So he's not one of those guys that scored a lot. So I'm sure he's getting a lot of excitement, you know, just trying something new and having a lot more fun than he probably did having to defend in the net all the time.
Well, certainly less bruises.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much. U of A trying to work it away as Artizoni sending it back on down. Exelby in the Alumni zone. He'll swing it over to the right side. So we've got a game that's tied at 3. And we have just under 19 minutes left to go in this second half. Puck ends up at the right point here, and Vukonich will take it out for the Alumni. He's going to move it ahead. Exelby in traffic, feeding it across. Carney wheeling it over the line. Carney still with it. Left side curls up to the point. Try to chip it into space. That one is picked off and knocked away to center. Artizoni into the right wing corner. That'll be chased down. McBean around after it. Cuts right up in front of his own net. He'll get it up the right wing side. And, you know, Jackson, one of the other things, too, you watch these guys break out. They break out so casually. And this isn't a team of guys who play together all the time. But they just kind of know where everybody else is going to be. Know the heads up, make the pass. That's another thing. It's one of those little things you don't really think of. But, boy, they're right on it.
Yeah, you know, it's just like riding a bike to them. You know, they say they haven't played in a year. They did it for 20 years. They know exactly who everybody's going to be. They know what to expect. And that's why guys that have been around the game for so long can just jump right in and act like nothing's changed.
Manny Rowan with a shot. That one is knocked away. Rebound comes around to the near side. Max Meyer curling in the right wing. Into the corner. Meyer behind the net. Tried to wrap it around in front. Still with it. Far dot. Left hash mark. Putting it into the corner. Fed around to the near side. And a chance there. Schoenfeld save, hugging the near post. Rebound is scooped up. Fury trying to put it up top. Now that one is chipped out, and the Alumni will clear the zone. Hill's all by himself, moving up the right wing side. Now he's got a little help coming. Here's Barahona with a shot, tipped over top of the net. It ends up on top of the net. We get a whistle out of it.
And one of the things I found really interesting so far in this game, Tom, is these NHL alumni players, especially some of the older guys, they really like to use their stick to stop these Wildcat hockey players from going. And that's something, you know, as a young hockey fan, that I haven't seen a lot. These guys are, you know, just fully on, tugging on. And that's not something they would have got called for when they were playing.
That's right. It's a definite generational difference from when obstruction was called versus when it wasn't. And you can tell the generations of players. McCulloch coming. He can't help himself. McCulloch comes back to play defense and help out there, even though he's the center on this line. Then he makes a nice play there to break it up. Puck ends up out at center. And now on the right side, here's Adams. Adams cutting into the slot, hooks it on goal, he scores! Greg Adams keeps it low along the ice. And as he goes from right to left, swings it right between the legs on Shuro. And the Alumni have tied this game back up at 4.
And they boasted a huge win percentage coming into this game with only one loss in all the games they've played. But one thing that interests me about that is Greg Adams, not a huge goal scorer in the NHL, under 55 goals in over 1,000 games, and he's making moves like that, which just kind of shows again that these guys on both sides of the ice just want to have some fun out here.
And so right now the Alumni will swing it up on the right wing side, and away comes Adams once again. Adams onto the right side. Here's McCulloch. McCulloch trying to leave it off in space, and let's catch the announcement.
Adams. The assist goes to number 8, Keith Carney, and number 9, Jeff Ulmer. That's Adams from Carney and Ulmer. Time of the Alumni goal, 13 minutes, 40 seconds in the second half.
And so the Alumni trying to keep it in on the left wing side. There's a centering feed. That one is knocked away in behind the net. And side of the net, Shuro just paddles it away. And do you feel any more urgency for the U of A right now? Do you think they're like, oh, we want to beat these guys?
Yeah, I do. You know, we talk about it being fun, but if they could beat the NHL Alumni here, you know, even though this isn't going to count for their season stats, that's a lot of confidence. You know, you come out here and beat some real NHL veterans, that'd be a really cool thing for this team.
Guys who can really turn it on when they want to. And now they have it again in front of shot. Oh, a shot block there in front of, oh boy. That one, Ben Jones is going to have a bruise, but he can point to it and say that came from an NHL shot. Back up the right side. Here come the Wildcats. Leading the race ahead is Kyle Wade. Wade in over the line, poke check. Exelby took it away. He'll wedge it into the right wing side. Moving ahead is Sean Hill. Hill leaving it into the slot, and the puck rolls away off the stick there. Cusinelli turning it the other way, and now up the left wing, trying to use his speed moving in. Stallyouth cutting into the slot. A shot. He sent it wide. Tried to catch Schoenfeld going to his right and go back. Now it's turned over right in front. Stallyouth, and he was just in too tight to really get a chance. But now U of A again a chance. Cusinelli knocked it out of the air, and Schoenfeld somehow got a piece. Wow, U of A, couple of great scoring chances.
Yeah, that's 3 really good chances that you don't even see in a lot of games that these guys play.
Backhanded on net. Churro making the save there on Zach LaRaza. As we are just under 14 minutes to go in this runtime second half. So the scoreboard says 4-3. I'm pretty sure it's 4-4. At least as far as my goal count goes.
I do believe you're right here, Tom.
I do. I want to clear something up. And Jackson, you actually made a common mistake in something. There were 2 Greg Adams, and they both played for Vancouver. This Greg Adams, the NAU alumni, 355 goals, 743 points in his NHL career. The other Greg Adams, not the goal scorer guy. But they actually, so to tell them apart, because they're both named Greg Adams, they nicknamed not this Greg Adams, but the other Greg Adams, Gus, so they could tell them apart. It's how often do you see 2 guys with the exact same name on the same hockey team? And I remember I was a Canucks fan back in that era. I love following the Canucks. And I'll tell you what, it was really, there's a backhand goal in front. The Alumni right back in front. Barahona with a backhand goal. It's 5-4. Make sure of this here. Well, maybe it is 5-3. I thought it was 4-4. Now I'm starting to lose track. The scoreboard, the scoreboard is down to our left. So now they've got it at 5-3 Alumni. Do you think the Alumni are going to try to pull away a little bit more here, Jackson?
I think they're going to get a little bit of extra confidence here, and I think the Wildcats are going to have to just start watching as these NHL players. They want to put on a show for the last 10 minutes here, in my opinion.
Well, that'll, the first half was probably really good for Anthony Shuro's confidence. I'm not so sure that this half will end up being good for his confidence.
You might be right here.
We'll see. U of A, though, trying to push right back in for a chance, but the Alumni take it away, and now 2-on-1 developing up on the left side. Here's Ulmer. Ulmer moving in, looks over. One time, Cusinelli, Shuro over to his left for the save on the one-time shot from Norton.
7J Neal. That's Baharona from Quint and Neal. Time of the Alumni goal, 17 minutes, 5 seconds in the second half.
And so U of A trying to push their way ahead here on the left wing side. Westland. Boy, what a great save by Shuro on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a guy, especially against NHL players, set up for a clean 2-on-0 one-timer, for him to make a save like that, maybe he will get a little bit of confidence in this second half.
Well, they push right back in, and the Alumni seem to be picking it up a little bit here.
Yeah, I think, a lot of these players, they want to get as much fun out of this game as they can. They don't skate every single day like they used to.
Oh, Adams with a shot, and he rang that right off Josh Larson, who blocked another one from his knees and puts it out of the zone. One thing U of A doesn't want to take out of this game is injuries. That is certainly something they don't want to happen. It's like, guys, just get out of the shooting lane, let the goalie handle it. Adams on the left side, McCulloch firing it into the high slot. Hill cutting to his right, sending it in, and it's tipped away. Puck still not out, though. A chance and a glove save, Shuro. They'll play it aside and keep the play rolling here. And the Wildcats going back the other way. I will say this, if there's an advantage of who's got the legs late in this game, it's got to go to the U of A Wildcats just by the virtue of that being just so much younger of a roster.
A younger roster and guys that, are still playing competitive every day. They have a practice every day. And, some of these guys, you talk about Ulmer, who's, a scout. He works for the Coyotes currently. He's not playing competitive hockey every day. So you're right. The legs have to be in favor of the Wildcats here.
Artizzoni trying to walk it in front, and he could not get it through. Schoenfeld was ready with a poke check if he did. Would have had to really pull off a move in tight space. Back the other way, here's Exelby. Exelby, one of the last guys who can say, I was drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers. Yes, Exelby played for the Thrashers a number of years, 408 games in the NHL, finished his career with Toronto, and back in a chance and right off the shin pads. Nice block in front of the net there for Rowe, who starts the other way. Here's Rowe into the right side. He's got some space looking in front. Backdoor pass. Oh, tip just wide. Dickinson was wide open, couldn't convert. Puck ends up at the right point. Artizzoni in front, shot tipped, and that is also wide. This line is flying out there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's two really good shooting chances that they just had, and both redirects that just went just wide of the net, but good chances.
Brad Norton up on the left side for the Alumni. Cross-ice pass, that one did not connect. And now turned over at the Alumni line. And the former NHLers led in on the left side, Barahona. Barahona stopping in the near side corner. He'll flip into the slot. Shot by Adams. Fought off by Shuro. He got just the cuff of the mid on it. And now left in again. Another shot. That one is tipped into the netting. Just under 9 to go here in the second half. So I guess 5-3 Alumni is our score. And right now, if you're U of A, so what are you saying right now if you're Coach Chad Berman? What are you telling your guys?
I mean, there's not much you can say. I mean, these are NHL players, but give it your best effort. This is a once-in-a-life opportunity for a lot of these guys. Make the most out of it and try to learn as much as you can. This is one of those very few hockey games where winning isn't as important. So you got to come out here, make a lot of fun, and, hopefully get another goal or two at the end of this game and make it exciting. Adams
in the near side corner. Now, that was an old-school tactic right there. Neufeld tried to grab a handful of Adams' jersey. That's an old-school NHL move right there. Boy, if you can't slow him down, hang on to him, I guess. At least try to be some weight. U of A tipping it out to center. They'll move it ahead. Neufeld leading it up on the left side. Into the rush. Looking into the high slot. Try to fire one on goal and send it high. But comes all the way around to the near side wall. McCulloch. Try to poke it ahead. Cut off of the near side. Adams back over to the right. And now in. Fake now a wrist shot. And that one is fought off by Shuro as well. Got a piece of it with the blocker there as Ulmer let it go from the right wing. Turned over in the slot. And now Adams feeding it onto the right side. Exelby shoveled it in front. Just missing on the tip there was Ulmer. Now McCulloch. His shot trying to go high. And that one stopped by Shuro as well. McCulloch on the near side. Feeds it up to the left point. Quint over to the right side. Exelby back across to Quint. Quint looking into the slot. Quick shot by Adams. And Shuro knocked it away with a mitt. Coming up on 7 to go here in this NHL Alumni versus the U of A Wildcats hockey game. Back in quickly. The Alumni breaking in on the left wing side. And U of A getting back. Nice defensive play there between Ben Jones and Bailey Marshall. Now a chance, and that one is blockered aside as Shuro has been busy here in the second half. Now a chance in front that is redirected but tied up in the slot. Puck is taken away, and now the Wildcats trying to break up the left wing side. Moving ahead, Cusinelli on the wing. Wrist shot, and the right arm save there by Schoenfeld. And now looking to move it ahead. La Raza turned it over on the left side. Chance from the off angle. That went off the back of the net. The rebound sent right up the slot. Ends up at the left point. Kept in there by Jones. Jones backing up, moving to the middle. Low wrist shot. That is stopped in front. And flipped ahead. Never made it through, though, on the lead for La Raza. And now here's Rowe. Rowe getting it back across. Feet ahead. Chipped in and picked up on the left side. Stalljuth in with a wrist shot. Tipped way out of play. Good stick in the lane there by Exelby. And now we've got about 6 minutes to go. So it's a 2-goal gap. Alumni 5, Wildcats 3. But good push by U of A.
It's a good push, and it's going to be a good final 5 minutes of this game. But stay tuned, Wildcat fans. I'm going to head out of the boxes. I'm going to head down to for ice level for after the game. So I'll be interviewing Coach Chad Berman after this NHL Alumni game and possibly a player of the game.
Jackson, really looking forward to hearing what Coach Berman has to say about the experience.
It'll
Thanks.
be real exciting.
All right, so Tim Gasson will step back in here in just a moment. We now have 5.5 to go in this second half. It is 5-3 Alumni. And the Wildcats circling on the left wing side, looking for a chance in front. Score! What a goal! Great feed. Bailey Marshall putting it across to Stalljuth, and he puts it home. The Wildcats are within a goal. It's 5-4. Wow, what a great move by Marshall on the left side, able to work his way free, and he was being hooked plenty, but he fought through the check and was able to get the puck in front. So now just a 1-goal game and just about 5 to go here in this running time game. Uh-oh. And Keith Carney just got the hook. He got pulled off the ice for Sean Hill. I think Carney did not hook strongly enough.
Number 11, Bailey Marshall. The assist goes to number 18, Ethan Stalljuth. That's Marshall from Stalljuth. Time of your Wildcat goal, 24:45 in the second half.
That sounds weird, 24:45, and they've got the goal backwards. So it was Stalljuth who scores the goal. Puck goes out of play here. We're down to just about 4 minutes to go in the second half. 5-4, the NHL Alumni with a lead. Now, I think it was Greg Adams said that this NHL Alumni team has posted a record of something like 78-1. I don't know. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think there is a way to fact check that one-loss record. I don't really know that we can say reliably that that's exactly what it is or not, but I think it was 78-1.
Tom, are you talking about the alleged
the one loss of the NHL Alumni?
Yeah, the alleged record of the Alumni. It has a Harlem Globetrotters feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
That the one loss was to the Washington Generals. Yeah, that was in the information that the NHL Alumni provided to us, which who knows? But they're just 318 away from going 79
and
one with a 1-goal lead over the University of Arizona. So Jackson Peters is heading down to center ice, and we'll talk to him at the conclusion of this game with Coach Berman and the player of the game. And I'd like to thank Tom Callahan for being our guest broadcaster doing play-by-play for this game tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We did only see one, I think, penalty shot with the strange stuff going on.
Game's not over yet, and it's a one-goal game, Tim, so I would not be surprised if U of A had a chance to tie it.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I don't have a script or anything up here, but, you know.
Well, it's 2.5 minutes to go in the game, and this is supposed to be entertainment.
It is, and it is for fun. And but I will say this, boy, have the Alumni turned it up a little bit here in the second half. Off angle one time, slap pass through the slot, and that one did not connect with Westland. And now the Alumni pushing up, 4 players deep. And there's a slide through. Vukonich lost the handle as he got to the front of the net. Swinging back up the right side, Zach LaRaza fed it to the slot, and the puck just rolled. And rolls all the way back down the ice. Wayne McBean will track it down. He'll send it back up the near side, tipped out to center. And LaRaza sending it into the near side corner. So U of A's got a push here, Tim. Just under 2 to go in the second half. Try to maybe tie this game up. I'll tell you, I've been very impressed. The Alumni, just the body position. There's no hitting in this game.
Yeah.
But just they're running little picks, and they're stopping guys in their tracks without ever having to touch them.
And you know, Tom, in the spirit of this exhibition, if U of A drops this, I won't mention it in the record for the season. If they come back and tie or win, of course, it's going to be like in boldface.
Right.
At the top of our next press release.
There you go. And so we're down to 1:15 left to go here in this runtime second half. This is it. If U of A is going to tie it, they turn it over in front of backhand. Sure, the save. Rebound goes around to the right side, and now away comes U of A. Led ahead. Fury scanning it up. Cutting to his right. Leaving it into the high slot. Wrist shot, and the save. Schoenfeld, he hangs on.
Boy, Schoenfeld is a large goaltender.
He's a big guy.
Now, he played back a couple decades ago for ASU when the rivalry was completely one-sided between the U of A and ASU. At one point, it went to, I believe it was 62 games in a row, U of A beating ASU, and I don't think that Schoenfeld ever beat the University of Arizona, so this might be a little bit of sweet revenge for him. 30 seconds to go and a 1-goal lead.
Well, let's see if they can hold on to it. U of A's pressing, the net's empty. And a chance on the far side. Larson feeding it back around Marshall. Marshall on the left wing. And he is tied up by a pair of Alumni. And now a shot at the empty net. Lofted down, a bouncing puck. That will roll wide. And they will give it an icing call. But, Tim, I don't know that it matters. 10 seconds. Oh, they're going to stop the clock.
Did they stop the clock?
They stopped the clock with 8 seconds.
Okay, well, I demand they put 2 more seconds on the clock then, Tom, if they were going to stop the clock. Because it was supposed to be 10 seconds on the clock when it was icing.
It's always something. Now we'll
if they only had 2 more seconds, they could tie this up.
There we go, yes. And they will not tie it up. McCulloch's going to eat the puck on the wall, and that will do it. U of A with a great effort here tonight against the NHL alumni squad. A hand from the fans, and a 5-4 NHL alumni. They're now, 79-1, if we were to believe their record?
79-1.
79-1.
Arizona played a good game, showed a lot of skill. I think they got out of this what they wanted.
It was, you know what, it was fun. I'll tell you what, I thought Anthony Shuro played very well. I thought he looked really good in net. I think there were a couple of beautiful goals, especially at the end there where Bailey Marshall set up Stall Youth. There were some great moments to take out of this for U of A, and aside from some bumps and bruises to take out of this for U of A, Tim, a very real sense of what an NHL player is like to go head-to-head against in a somewhat competitive situation.
Well, and this will help the U of A because they're going to play the next 4 out of 5 weekends here at the Tucson Arena. Next Thursday, it's against Maryville of St. Louis. That's Thursday, 7:30. Saturday against Maryville at 1 p.m. here at the Tucson Arena. Next Sunday against Grand Canyon University. That's at 4 p.m. So you got the whole variety pack of games next Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday for the U of A, but they'll play every weekend except Thanksgiving weekend here at home, ranked number 15th. They were 6-3 on their 9-game road trip, brutal road trip. So that's going to be exciting. Now we're going to head down to center ice in just a moment for Jackson Peters. He's going to talk to the head coach of the Wildcats and perhaps a player of the game. I see Jackson moving off. Maybe think there's going to be a
little salute to the fans and a thank you at center ice
oh,
from
I
both
see,
teams here. And now they're going to do a picture.
Yeah, they're going to take a combined roster picture, so that's good. And then we'll go down to Jackson Peters at center ice.
So, Tim, since we have a minute here while they're taking the photo, I want to toss out some of the more fun tidbits I didn't get to use here during the course of the game. So, one of the players on the NHL alumni side, Keith Carney, was the oldest defenseman to score an overtime goal in a playoff game when he scored April 11th, 2008, the overtime game winner, Minnesota 3-2 over Colorado, 1:14 into the first overtime. So I thought that was a fascinating little nugget. Carney played over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, was originally a fourth-round draft pick for the Buffalo Sabres. And the highest draft pick we had in the game was Wayne McBean, 4th overall in 1987, won a Memorial Cup in 87 and 88 with Medicine Hat, and a Calder Cup in 1990 with the Springfield Indians.
The Springfield Indians, that sounds familiar.
Springfield has had a team since the dawn of time.
Not the same team, but they've had a team, huh?
Yes. And so some guys who have some interesting backgrounds as well. Dave Ellett, Bowling Green National Championship 1983-84. His father Bob was playing in Cleveland when he was born in 1964. His father Bob played for the AHL Barons.
Okay.
And so that's why there was actually a little bit of controversy around Dave Ellett. He tried out for Team USA, didn't make it, then ended up playing for Team Canada later on. Bob Johnson complained that because he tried out for Team USA, he should be playing for Team USA, and they ruled that because he never played, only tried out and didn't make the team, that he could play for Team Canada.
Okay, now we're going to head down to Jackson Peters at center ice with head coach Chad Berman.
Hi, I'm Jackson Peters, and I'm joined here by head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, Coach Chad Berman. Now, Coach, you fell to a group of NHL veterans by just 1 goal, and, you know, usually I don't see you smiling after a loss like this, but what can your team take away from a game like this against some real NHL talent?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of little things. The way they play off the puck, just little hockey sense stuff that's hard to explain. It's easier to show, and I think a lot of our guys got a good perspective. Especially, gosh, I think Greg Adams could still play in the league.
Well, thanks, Coach. It was an exciting game. I'm glad we got the NHL alumni out here. For those of you joining us on YouTube, I'll send it back to the booth with Tim Gasson and Tom Callahan. For those of you in the building, we hope to see you next weekend on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, as the University of Arizona Wildcats will have 3 more home games. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.
Well, that'll do it here at the Tucson Arena between this exhibition of the NHL alum and the University of Arizona Wildcats hockey team. Tom, a 1-goal loss. Well, is it a loss in an exhibition against the NHLers? It sure was a lot of fun to see the Arizona Wildcats, ranked number 15 in the ACHA, play a really spirited game against the NHLers.
Tim, I don't know that you're going to think of this as a loss in the long term. It was a lot of fun, I'm sure, for these kids and for some of them, again, playing against perhaps childhood heroes or heroes of their fathers, and being able to have this experience of just being out there is awesome. And if you wanted to know where the bar is, if you have NHL aspirations and dreams and you're a U of A Wildcat hockey player, I think you just got a real good taste.
Well, and it was exciting to see this developing Arizona team move the puck against larger competition and score some goals. It's going to be interesting to see when we talk to the team, how does this help them prepare mentally for this big stretch run to end this first semester? As we said, Arizona coming off of a brutal 9-game road schedule. They went 6-3 in that stretch. They'll play the entire month of November here at home starting next Thursday against Maryville of St. Louis. This is a different challenge, Tom, because Maryville is a first-year ACHA Division II program. We don't think they're going to have the level of competition for Arizona, so it'll be kind of oppositeville from what they had here tonight. What does a team, a top-ranked team like Arizona do against a Division II program for their next 2 games?
This is a focus on the basics game. This is a make sure your breakout is good, make sure your penalty killing box is tight, make sure your power play moves the puck efficiently, that you're doing all those little things the right way. You're chipping pucks out, you're sticking to the game plan. That's really what an opponent like Maryville can help you with, and to be able to beat them and do all those little things right. It's a great tune-up because it's at game speed, Tim. It's at game intensity. You just can't replicate a game in practice, so this is a great chance for U of A to do that.
So the Arizona Wildcats will drop the puck next Thursday here at the Tucson Arena, 7:30 against Maryville of St. Louis. We hope you'll join us here at the Tucson Arena. And if you don't, we hope you'll join us here at our YouTube channel for University of Arizona Hockey. I'd like to thank Jackson Peters, my broadcast partner, and our special broadcast guest, Tom Callahan, for joining us tonight. I'm Timothy Gasson, and we'll see you next time on University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. It was the NHL Alumni 5, the Arizona Wildcats 4 in this exhibition game. We'll see you here next Thursday.
Thank you for watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey. Visit our website at arizonawildcathockey.org, and we'll see you at the Tucson Arena for the next Arizona Wildcats home game.